Welcome everyone to Two Dogs Digs Tuesday night Hall Pass. Today our Hall Pass Live is our recap of what sold in the month of October. Now, normally we have guests for this, but I neglected to remember that I had to do a show. So I didn't invite anybody until late last night, which wasn't really fair. So probably, I'm guessing, Carl and Adrian and Elise are all going to be joining us in the next month. So they'll all be in that one. So you'll be able to see everybody there. Some of whom may be here. So hey, Tina, hello. Susan's here. Lisa, Janet. Rick saying hi to everybody. Adrian, who had lost the ability to speak to us online. Michael. Mr. Greg's at home. What else we got here? Can I get this? Scroll. Oh, that's because he's on his phone. Jennifer, Paul is here. Heather and Bob. Diana, Brian, Lisa, Hydran. Hello, all of you. Charmaine as well. There's Lisa. Donna, Marianne. She's live. So today we're going to talk to you about what sold in October. We're going to focus on a lot of the stuff that we have. We also have some news and views and things like that, and a fun little story from Mr. Bad Dog's partner, Good Dog. A fun little story that happened today, but we won't go into that yet. We'll hold that for a little while into the show, right, Rick?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We'll have to build up some energy to tell the story.
Tension. So there's a couple of things we do want to talk about. First and foremost, today is Tuesday, November the 12th. And as of basically the time of us writing this or doing us live, or if you're watching us, Canada Post, for those Canadian people who are watching us, has officially said that there's potentially a strike. It's literally, this is how useless their page is right now. Negotiation updates, read the latest updates. And there's no updates. Get information on it. But basically, from what we are understanding at the moment.
Actually, I logged into my Canada Post account, Craig, and it did tell me that, or it did have news to post. So give me a second. I will share my screen and we can look at their response together.
Okay.
Here we go. That's a little wrong screen. This one.
Yeah. So basically, they've announced that as of Friday, they have a strike mandate from the Canada Post Union, the workers, and Canada Post has said they could lock people out. But at the end of the day, this is still looking like it is going to be pretty well the same as what happened in 2018, from the looks of it, which is they may be doing rotating strikes city by city, and they continue to keep moving forward. So the real thing that we wanted to make sure everybody knew is that a lot of people have posted in the craft group as well, is people are sort of in a bit of a panic about, I got to shut my store down. And what we don't want people to do is, if you only use Canada Post, we don't think you should be shutting your store down. Our direction wouldn't be. We're not shutting our stores down. We do sell in Canada as well. Some people may have access to a cross-border shipper or another shipping platform that can help you in there. But I think the biggest thing to look at is, don't plan for the inevitable till it becomes inevitable. Now, the one point, and this was made to me by Matthew, who's one of our amazing admins in the craft group, is maybe don't send offers out as of today, because an offer can stay live for 4 days. 96 hours. Absolutely idiotic, but they say you can stay live for 48 hours. So if you sent an offer out today on eBay, somebody could still accept it on Saturday and something could change. So what we do is we are just going to say, keep moving forward the way everybody's doing it right now. Keep your eyes open on the news. Go to the Canada Post website and see what's on there. It's very easy. You can Google Canada Post 2024 strike, and you'll be able to find lots of different links from news stations and from Canada Post directly. Check your Canada Post link on your own thing if you have a Snapship account, which many of you may have from doing the free postage. So there are ways for you to take a look at this. But again, we just don't want people to say, I need this income and I'm shutting it down. Because if it was a rotating strike like it was 5 years ago, that just meant that one city or selected cities had a day. And it was just a day. It wasn't a week. It was Halifax will be Tuesday, Toronto will be Wednesday, Calgary will be Thursday. So it just meant that there'd be a day delay. So again, we don't want you planning on that sort of thing. There might be a little bit of a slowdown, but anybody who purchases in Canada will actually obviously learn about that. Diana says, I don't want to learn a new shipper. I'm too old. You're never too old.
You and me both.
Wait, and I saw Carl's here. Carl. Here we go. So that's the thing that we just want people to take a look at. Lisa says she's going to continue as is. Pretty sure they'll rotating and it just slows down. Yeah, so that's the way we're trying to structure it. We will update our craft group all the time. Good thing, Kendra. Good for you. So again, if we shut it down and it was like 2-3 days, or you could have had sales over the weekend and you could have shipped them.
Yeah, we actually had an option to try a different service in Canada through Stallion.
Yeah.
Yet we opted to continue to use Canada Post. We'll just do Canada Post for now until it becomes absolutely necessary, because I didn't know what the other couriers were.
So now let's talk to some things that are a little more positive in the news as of today. And one thing that I think, even if you don't happen to be a Poshmark seller, Poshmark does some things they do every once in a while, and they're called the trend reports. And Poshmark actually just issued its new holiday trend report. And it's actually very interesting. So if you go to Poshmark, you can look up, again, it's so easy. Google Poshmark Trend Report 2024, and you'll find a link to this. This is the 2024 report. Sorry, I'm boring you, Rick. This is the 2020 support. It's all about holiday opportunities. But here's some of the things that I like that it shows you in here. It's got like the projected total sales increase in holiday stuff is 8% this year. The search demand, if you happen to be doing clothing, like penny lane coats, suede boots is up. Barn jacket, Christmas dresses. Take a look at some of the things that you'll find from here, because it can give you ideas not only to sell on Poshmark, but to sell on other platforms. So always think about, as a reseller, they're doing this, and it's something it's the trends for reselling. It's not just the trends for Poshmark. Some of the other things they've got in here, like top brands they've got, which is an interesting thing if you're finding. We've got, so like, look how big this is. Look at all this stuff. Spotlighting top beauty trends. Jeffree Star. Who knew? Look at the top beauty trends are Jeffree Star. Top brands for men. It even goes further into top categories. Funko is up. Top brands by volume goes Fisher Price, Action Play Sets. And this doesn't have to mean only new stuff either. So it's one thing for you to take a look at top brands for home decor. It's a great thing to take a read through. Again, so take a look at it. Hit Poshmark Trend Report 2024, and you'll see this nice little read that you actually would have. Let's see, wasn't there a trash mark? You would do well on there. Elisa said your local postmaster thought you died because you weren't bringing packages that often. Well, yeah, but that was also because you were spending a lot of time clearing out that garage, that huge garage. So that was filling up your house and not getting you listings. So that's another thing in there. At least so people on Posh have been returning stuff like crazy on top of lowballing. I have heard a little bit of that. And again, we don't sell that much on Posh. We sell mostly on eBay, Etsy, Max Sold, and whatnot. That's sort of our thing. I thought so as well. I thought Jeffree Star got canceled, but it looks like he's still doing well. So that's just something interesting. Now, it was only temporary. Here's another thing that I think is positive. Now, I don't know. We've talked a little bit about this in the past. If you ever get a chance to go up to upstate New York in Rochester, there is an amazing museum called the Strong Museum of Play. And the Strong Museum of Play is like, it's just such a fun museum. It's really good. It's got lots of great things for adults and kids. We spent like a good 5 hours in there. one afternoon, and like on a Monday, they got a cute little butterfly garden as well. Skip that. That wasn't that great. It came with our thing because we're seniors, but it really was not a big garden. It was like, look, there's a butterfly. Where's the other ones? There weren't it. No, there were a couple, but it was very small. If you got to see a butterfly garden, go over Niagara Falls, Canada, to see that one. But the Straw Museum of Play in Rochester does something all the time. They have a thing which is the Toy Hall of Fame. And the Toy Hall of Fame is this amazing little place that's got, I think I got a better picture of it. Did it not put a picture there for me? I thought I had a picture, but I don't. Oh, there it is. That's the Toy Hall of Fame. And what it has is it has all sorts of different people and things that are in there. Yes, it is great for all ages. But every year they announce items that become part of their Toy Hall of Fame. And this was the finalists for 2024. And they announced the winners today. So the finalists, everybody got to vote on them. The finalists were, you can't see them as well. First one, this is the Apples to Apples game. The balloon. That, like, because literally the cardboard box is actually already in the Hall of Fame. There's some strange things in the Hall of Fame, but cardboard box. Choose Your Own Adventure books, Hess diecast trucks, My Little Pony, Phase 10. I think this was, I can't see what that is. I think it's Meow. I don't know. Remote control cars, Transformers, the trampoline, the hobby horse, and the game sequence. And they announced the 3 winners. And they are Transformers. So expect there to be a big kind of pickup in interest on this because it's going to get a lot of news play online and different places. So expect people to be talking about and looking at Transformers again. So that's something you can think about looking at. Also, Phase 10. Now, I am sorry. I do not know this game. How many of you know Phase 10? I looked at it and I was like, Phase 10 and Sequence? I do not recognize either one of those games. Like, I know Uno. I've never played it. But I don't know what Phase 10 is. I think I might have actually sold a Phase 10 game. Oh, Candace says, love Phase 10. Oh, okay. Oh, Charmaine played both of them. Phase 10, a big bowl. Phase 10 dice are a big bolo. I did not know that. Michael says, used to play that 40 years ago. It is a bolo. Never heard of it. It's like adult Uno. Oh, okay. And, that's it's sold Sequence. That's interesting. Janet plays Phase 10 on their phone. Okay, I've got to do this now because everybody has said that. I actually have to go just for the heck of it. I've got to pop over to eBay and I have to pop in Phase 10. It comes up as dice game or card game. And okay, let's just pop this over here so I can get this into play here. And here is Phase 10. And let's take I'm just curious to know what highest price Phase 10. 1,100 listed right now. And if we look in the past 90 days, look at this, Phase 10 Twist. I never would have looked at this. That's one of the things I like about doing this show itself is like $50, $60 games I've never heard of before. Phase 10 Masters, that's exactly what Carl just said. Phase 10 Masters, $50 for this. So take a look at that. Well, this game has popularity behind it. In fact, 400 of these have sold in the past 90 days as well. So that's really interesting. That Greg says, no clue. Uno was strip poker. I do not know. You would never have picked them up yourself. No, I don't know if I would have either. I can't remember whether I picked them up or not. But that was number 2, was Phase 10. So Transformers Phase 10. And what do you think is phase number 3? My Little Pony. Yes, My Little Ponies are Phase 10. Or My Little Ponies are the third thing into the Toy Hall of Fame. Now, here's a little something extra. I did talk a little bit about these relatively fast in one of the shows recently. if you are a Kennel Club member, I am going to do a little mini, like 5-10 minute education on My Little Ponies. And I will be doing that next week for everybody. That'll be a video just for people who are members of the Kennel Club, trying to explain how you can look at My Little Ponies and see what could be of value and what may not be of value. So I'm going to take you through a little bit of a deep dive. And I think for those of you who are in the Kennel Club, I'm going to try and start doing that as a regular thing, sort of once a month. Find a little topic that I'm going to talk about with you on a basis, on a regular sort of side of looking at things. So could be in the toy related, but it may not be toy related. But in this case, because My Little Pony just made the Toy Hall of Fame, I thought I should talk about them. Right, Rick?
Yes. I was looking for a pony down here. I don't have any, so I'm deprived. Sorry, I had to go
$3 worth. I hope I provide you $3.
I had to go grab a coffee.
I hope if you don't buy Phase 10, that provides you your $3 worth. And yes, for all the bronies. Oh, Shar just said you have one of those Phase 10 games. Asked if I could sell it. Carl found some My Little Ponies last week.
She said no.
She said no, and he sings his theme song whenever he sees them. Oh, Heather has some. So that's just one of the things that we wanted to talk about. So
there's a theme song?
My Little Pony, My Little Pony, My Little Pony, Pony. I'm just surprised. Carl sings the theme song. Now, I don't know the theme song, and I have My Little Ponies.
Hey, Carl, if we send you the link, will you join us and sing the theme song?
Carl will be joining us shortly, and he will do his live version of My Little Pony for everybody. Hey, Joel. Well, you've been busy. You've been like shooting Chicago and shooting like all these other great rock bands down in Niagara and posting them on your website. It's like Joel does amazing concert photography. So maybe that's why he's been a little bit busy. Adrian does that with Transformers. My Little Transformer, My Little Transformer. No, that's not the Transformers one. Why did Rick just do the Austin Powers?
Oh. I don't know.
No, I can't. Yes, it is true. Where did it go? It is being a little bit busy. It is true that I do sometimes sing Transformers more than meets the eye when I come to that. What's even worse though is when Rick makes me watch Crazy Rich Asians. And I won't sing what I'm going to sing, but none of the songs in Crazy Rich Asians are in English. They're English songs that are in Cantonese. I don't know the words in Cantonese, and they've been stuck in my head for 3 days now because we watched it. So I'm singing, I think one of the songs is called Mellow or Yellow. There's like 3 or 4 songs that just, I can't get them out of my head, not in English. So it's just really, really driving me absolutely crazy. So no team to love that movie. I had to play Mahjong today. Is it Mandarin? Okay. Wasn't sure. I don't know the language. I just sing badly with words I don't know. But then again, that's also like me trying to sing to Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso because I don't know any of the words except Espresso. So I just sing like, what
about your petticoat era?
And my petticoat era, which is supposed to be my pretty girl era or something like that. Yeah. But I sing my petticoat era. But yeah, for Espresso, I don't know
any wintry tomatoes.
I'm just old and sing Espresso. So that's all. Anyway, and 99 Luftballons. 99 says Luftballons floating in the summer sky. See, I know a little bit more of the English on that. Okay. Now a pop star. A K-pop star. So I think now that we're going to show a couple of things that we're talking about, and then we'll get into Rick's little story. So I'm going to start with our Etsy sales. Oh, by the way, one of the things that I found a new website through this, looking at the Strong Museum thing that I've been looking for, the little words. I like that one. There is only one word, isn't there?
But do you know the dance moves?
Oh God, yeah, I can do the Pee-wee move, yeah. But tequila. What I was saying is, I went one site again for fun. If you have some time, you got some fun, go to the Toy Tales. It's literally toytales.ca. It's a .ca website, and it has so much fun stuff about toy nostalgia. It's, I think, my next new favorite site. That's like, there's so much fun stuff in there about old stuff, like the games. Oh my God. I just was like, oh, collecting tips. There's a toy store. But this is just a lot of fun. And there's pop culture and other things. So go to, it's toytales.ca, toy nostalgia, past and present. So one of the things that I was saying was, how, like, people ask, how are your sales going? So I thought, actually, I haven't done this in a little while. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, things are really, really slow. There was a post in the craft group. And so we thought we better look at our sales, because I said, Rick, our sales, they're down. We're tanking. They're going to be terrible. And what did we find out, Rick? Do you remember?
They're not. No, they're not. They're not tanking. They're steady, or we've actually had a bit of an improvement. So
yeah, we actually found out that year over year, we're 9% higher this year than we were for the same time period last year. So from January to November 1st of this year, we are 9% higher than January to November 1st of the previous year. And that is a really good sort of period. Like, we do have the potential for us to increase even more, obviously, over November, December. But I wanted to show you our actual numbers so that you can actually see this. So this is our actual numbers that compare year over year. So this is October 2024. We had, our total sales were 2,700 US. That includes all taxes and fees. Our selling costs were $750. So again, we list in the US. We list on .com. So this is US. So our total net sales are $1,876 US. So that's about, based on things right now, that's about 2,500 Canadian, and that's net. So that's the thing I like, and this is why it just makes it easier for me in my old brain. I like to use this and say, when we list and sell in US, it's almost like I can look at whatever I have as my sales, convert it, and pretend it's Canadian. And that's what our net sales are pretty darn close to on a regular basis. So that's actually really good. A good way to take a look at it. So, but yeah, we are literally up. We're at $2,500 and we're 9% lower. So it's only $250 difference from one year to the following year. At least
our average selling price has actually gone up too. It was,
yes, our number of items have gone down.
Yeah,
but our selling price has actually gone up. We're up 6% in the number of items we sold in that month. Oh, that's 39% for the last 30 days. Oh, sorry about that. Tina was on her way, but had drafts to go live, still sold 5 items per day. Yes, I will take that day. Charmaine only had 1 week of low sales, and you and Brian were blasting it with the challenge that you guys did. Okay, so a question from Holly is, have you ever looked into creating your own selling platform store to sell on, like cutting out the middleman? So you're saying, like, have we thought about doing something on, like, Shopify, like our own website? And no, we haven't. We've actually looked at it, but it's never, I'll just leave that up there. We've looked at it, but it's never really been something that we wanted to try and do. There's a number of reasons behind that.
I can tell you the biggest one.
And Rick will tell you the biggest one.
The biggest one is that there's no way that we could get the amount of traffic that a platform like eBay or Etsy gets to our little website. We're not going to get 2 million unique visitors a month.
No.
So
even with whatever you consider to be our social media presence, our Facebook group, you'd have to spend money to advertise. And that's one of the bigger challenges, is you don't want to have to spend more money to make money. You're spending money already. That 17 to 20% fee that's got to go on everything you do. So I'd rather have that going to a platform like eBay or Etsy or whatnot or Max Sold, so that people are actually getting marketing out to them. And all we have to do is worry about finding the stuff to flip. That's kind of the way that we look at it. And
using an established process for listing and photography and all of that.
Yeah. And I mean, the other challenge that there's been new platforms that keep getting put out there. There's one right now that's from a seller, a YouTuber who started their own sort of selling platform. The problem is no one knows about it. Like, the other buyers or the people who are in that person's YouTube channel, which has a huge following, may know about it, but that's it. So that's the equivalent. There are still people who are finding Whatnot. There are still people who are finding Etsy. In fact, our sales in the past month from Etsy, 2 of them were from guests. So they weren't people who normally even came to Etsy. They came to Etsy through ads. So that's just, we'd rather have those people talking about it and yelling about it. And we do talk about it in various places. The one place I think that we should have been doing more of, and we're going to try and do more of, I think in 2025, is Instagram. Because I know there's some people who have great success in Instagram. We're doing more on Facebook. And the nice thing about Instagram is the crossless magic. You can post to Instagram. So I could take an eBay listing or an Etsy listing and move it to an Instagram post. So that's one of the things that I haven't done. I've done it a couple of times, but I haven't done it enough. And I want to get to it on a regular basis so people can look at that kind of thing. Lisa was in the UK. So lots of bus ads when they were there. Yeah, and the nice thing about Etsy is it drives people to that secondhand market as well. Whatnot is addictive to buy from. Yes, it can be very addictive because the prices are really low. That's one of the big things. Diana says, a lot of my Etsy sales are guest purchases. So that's, yeah. And as Tina says, it's hard to drive traffic to the own website.
But the offsite or guest purchases are usually driven by the offsite ads from eBay or Etsy. So if you're paying for offsite ads, or if you've been opted in because of your account for offsite ads in Etsy, it actually could bring much better traffic to your site.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we do, actually, and we make sure of this when we post on Etsy. We make sure our pricing includes shipping, so it looks like free shipping, and it's above their $35 US threshold to push out ads. So once you do that, those ads are featured, highlighted more, and pushed out better. And that's how we get sales. And in fact, let's look at a couple of the sales that we end up having for us in our Etsy place this month. So this is a typical thing. This is something, again, depending upon the items too, it's a lot different with what's out there. The marketplaces have different audiences. There's not a lot of people that we can see anecdotally. We cannot prove this, but anecdotally, people who shop on eBay do not shop on Etsy. People who shop on Etsy do not shop on Poshmark. Sure, there's probably this overlapping Venn diagram of like 10% of people who may do all those different things, but most people don't. So that's why you can actually see things that sell for more money on something like Etsy. Some of the vintage stuff sells for more money on Etsy. That's why you can actually buy things from people on Facebook and flip them, because if they knew that they could also sell them, and I'm talking about Facebook groups, I'm not talking about Facebook local marketplace, Facebook groups, people would be going, well, I can sell in a Facebook group, I should be able to sell here. A lot of people also have misconstrued ideas that eBay costs 50%. Like the ridiculous things I see in posts about, oh, I'd never do this, I'm never going to go to eBay, they cost 50%. I post on Poshmark and I'm like, Poshmark costs 20%. Do you understand anything about that? So it's one of the big things that they do. Toilet paper girls. Yes, that's the toilet paper girls. Lisa sold those last summer locally. And Poshmark is always posting commercials. Yeah. I just don't like sharing listings, David. That's the biggest problem I have with that for those. So this is actually something that we ended up selling. We found it. We had the original little box that it came in. It was from Northern Paper Mills in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I think it cost me $3 at an estate sale. And we sold it for $50 Canadian. Sorry, there's the pictures there. So it was from Northern Mills. Just this little paper thing. And again, $50 Canadian, including shipping. There it is in its original folder. So that was a great little find for us, a little sale. Then something we have talked a little bit about is we love it when we get series of books. This is a series that we always look out for, which is called the Heartland books. We've actually sold 2 other sets of the Heartland books here on Etsy, and we've sold them on eBay as well. We look out for them all the time. And this particular set of books sold for $109 Canadian. Now, the interesting thing about this set of books, it's lost. Well, it's not lost.
No. The buyer has not picked it up from the post office, so it may be back on its way to
They
us.
come back to us, which we're not sure about what's going to happen with that, because it's like coming back to
Canada.
us, and it's in Canada, and it went through Etsy, and we sent it through Canada Post. It's a little strange thing. Lisa said hers were framed but free. Didn't want to ship, sold locally for $30. Donna says she also buys off garage sale all the time to resell. So, yeah, so there's platforms out there that people don't have a clue about, don't look at or anything like that. Our third sale on Etsy I wanted to show you was this cute little thing that I forgot that I even had when we were going through all our Halloween stuff. I found this. This is a little thing called Merry Moo-Moos. And these little Merry Moo-Moos are these cute little guys. Like this little Frankenstein and a little mummy. And it's called All Wrapped Up in Moo. And Moo steer me in the right direction and they both came with cobwebs. But I had this other thing I found when I was there, which is an actual store display piece. This is a cardboard backing piece that actually went for behind it. Now, I did at one point have Dracula, but I sold Dracula. And I thought, oh crap, now I've got no Dracula. But I put this in, and you know what? We sold it for $72 Canadian on Etsy. So this went to the US. This went to a guest as well. So it was somebody who came on who was a guest who found this. So it's fun to find it when you have that kind of stuff here. Oh, your mother-in-law collects Merry Moos. My feet are aching from the saccharine sweetness of the moo cows. They are very cute.
We have a ton of these still.
Yeah, we actually have 75 of these. Let me just get Rick on the screen bigger than me.
Angels we have heard on high.
We've been selling them for 7 years now, 6-7 years. We probably sold 150 of them.
Yep.
We paid $1 for them, and we sell them for $15 a piece.
Yep.
So, sorry, I was just going to say, Andrew says he gets 3/4 of his inventory from high bid because there is no max sold. So, it's just another interesting thing. So, go back to here. Now let's pop on to we're at the halfway mark. So I think it's time for a story. So today, in a couple of weeks, I think not. Actually, maybe next week. It's actually next week's show. I think next week's show is going to be the "Oh my God, look what Rick bought" show. It's called Fab Finds, and like some fails, but mostly Fab Finds from Rick. Now, I've been dragging his butt out now at least once a week. I told him before in the summer he had to come out once a week. He did not. And it pained me to tell him that, honey, I really would appreciate if you came along with me. Now, what ended up happening was about a month ago, I go out and I find this big, huge thing that I had trouble trying to get into my car. And I was like, damn it, if he had been here with me. So I ended up passing on a really interesting store display because it was like 6 feet tall and I could not put it into a thing by myself. There was nobody at this thrift store that would help you do anything. So it's like, I don't even know how they got out on the store floor. Anyway, I said, you got to come with me. So now you're coming with me at least once a week. So he does come with me once a week. Otherwise, yes. Otherwise, all I do, yes, I make sure he has a coffee, a large coffee. I make sure he's had his breakfast, or I buy him food and donuts. I don't keep him locked in the basement. No, I do not.
If anything, I'm
I vetoed it. So. Well, I vetoed it as kind of the Thrifted or Throw It show. That's going to be coming up, a Christmas Thrifted or Throw It in a couple of weeks. I was just saying, Lisa, they have High Bid and Eye Collector there. Let's see. Brian said they finally found Max sold in the area. The prices they pulled were in the wild. We didn't bid on anything because there's no room for profit, but they made out great. They're trying to do a little bit more work and maybe expand it. They're not going to expand into Winnipeg. they're trying to focus on what they're redoing their app right now as well. So, but that's secondary. So, yeah. So what we were doing was I decided to drag Rick out, and he's actually found some amazing things in the past few weeks when we've been out. And so today, though, I'm going to let Rick tell you a story. Now, make sure you tell them the story, Rick, not just the end of the story. And so, here is Good Dog's Thrift Adventure.
So whenever we go into the thrift store, Craig and I will each take a cart on our own. I will go to all of the hard goods, the knickknacks, the shelves of things, and I don't know where Craig goes. He might go to the toys. He might go to the baggy wall. It's just he's not roaming the aisles with me. The thing about the Value Village that we were at is that they have been using the end caps for all of their Christmas and seasonal stuff. So when we walked in, the third aisle over, on the very top shelf, there was this white ceramic Christmas tree. And, I'm in aisle 1 and I'm going towards aisle 1 and I'm looking over and there's this tall, skinny lady picking it up and trying to figure out the price. Didn't see a price, so she left it there. About half an hour later, I'm going by and there's an older lady and a Chinese couple. The older lady is kind of fiddling with it. And she went and tried to find somebody to price it for her. The Chinese couple, the man and the lady were picking it up, putting it down, and they walked away. So the second the guy left, his hands left that, I went over, I grabbed it, I put it in my cart, and lo and behold, there was a price tag on it on the base underneath the tree. So I think the old lady might have gone to get a price for it. But, in the lore of thrift stores, if it's not in your cart, it's fair game. So I picked it up, put it in my cart, and I'm walking away. I'm about 6 aisles down, and the old lady who was trying to get a price from the manager came running after me, said, excuse me, are you going to do the right thing and let me have that? I was getting a price for it. So I turned to her, turned back, and said to myself, well, you snooze, you lose. And I kept walking. She chased me around the store. You're going to have so much bad karma. I'm giving you bad karma. I ignored her and kept walking.
Oh, no. I'm 78.
Oh, yeah. She was trying to guilt me into letting her have it. But it's like, no, it was on the shelf. It's priced. It's in my cart. Even if it wasn't priced, if it was in my cart, I would go to the manager and ask for a price. So she finally stopped haranguing me and walking around with me. Apparently she went and found the store manager. And then the store manager came up to me and very politely said, there's a lady who says that this was supposed to be hers. I said, well, that's funny because it was on the shelf. It has a price tag on it. I put it in my cart and walked away. She did come up to me and asked me to give it to her because it was hers. And I politely said no. So the manager said, okay, you're not going to give it to her, are you? And I said, no, not today. It's mine.
Okay, now, what he neglected to say there was he said that in a very pleasant sort of interaction. He came over to me with it in his cart, and he's like, look what I got. And I'm like, yeah. And the manager came over with him and said, they'd already been speaking, I think, right?
Yeah.
She sort of followed you over there, and she was like, well, I just wanted to understand. Rick looks at her and goes, I don't care if I'm being an asshole. I'm going to be an asshole. This is mine. It's in my car. And I'm looking at him going, no. Don't talk like that. All the time. Yes. Please do not get us kicked out of here and not allowed to shop. I'm like, my eyes are like beyond my glasses. Mm-hmm. And then she went, oh, and I said, well, and she turned to me and she's like, hi, because she knows I am, because I've been shopping there for 5 years.
And then he made me go and apologize to
And
the
I
store
said,
manager
yes,
for being
I
deaf.
said, well, you have to understand. I said, last week I was looking at something here and I picked up one thing till there were 4 of them, and I picked up one of them to look at, and somebody took the other 3. It's like, I don't get to tell them that's mine. I said, there's a guy walking over there with a doll I was thinking about getting. I can't say, can I have that because I wanted it? And she's like, no, I understand, but I had to come over. I said, oh, thanks so much. She goes, I understand. She walked away. And then I looked at Rick and I went, you go over there right now and you apologize to her.
I apologized appropriately.
He was gone for 5 minutes.
Oh no, I had her giggling by the time I left. It's like, I just, this has happened to me a couple of times where I haven't put it in my cart. Somebody's grabbed it in front of me. It's like, that's what happens. If it's not in your hands or your cart, it's fair game.
And this is
There
the
some
tree.
pretty aggressive people in Toronto. So
it's quite an interesting tree. It's got a really interesting base, though. You can see the base is not your typical base. It's actually a sort of snow field of a base that's around it. It sort of goes up and back around it. Now, the fun thing was as well, they had a little baggie down here that was filled with a bunch more of these little lights. And Rick got it home and set it up. And there it is. So you can see the base is a larger base than the normal kind of base that you got. It's a bit almost oval. Yeah, it does kind of look like a fake wood. Yeah.
And it was $31 less 20%. So
yeah, less. Oh, that's a pretty good. I was happy to pay $20 for that for sure. And then what we had, luckily we had these online, so we actually have, this is it unlit. We have these yellow lights as well. So we have yellow lights that we put on one half of it to fill it in. So we got half yellow, half red, because there weren't enough of the red. Yeah, we may order some more. We may order some more of the red. We may just do it half and half. But it is nice tree. I don't know if it's a lava tree.
No, it's not a lava tree.
Kind of looks like a lava tree. I love this. Don was like, I wouldn't have given it to her. I just love it. Nelly, what's in the cart stays in the cart. Like, I don't know if you saw these, Rick, before. I am rubber, you are glue. It's in the cart, it's mine. What's Canadian of me making Rick apologize? Yeah, that's that.
Well, no, Craig was being self-interested.
Not to the 78-year-old woman, no.
No, to the manager.
There was no way I was going to get that.
I'm sorry you're 78 and don't have any upper arm strength.
That's what he said to me originally, because I said, I'm sorry you're 78. I said, you didn't say that. He goes, no, but I wanted to.
I'm sorry you're old and feeble.
No one here would have given it to her for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a pretty tree. A really nice tree. Actually, yeah, we've actually got replacement bulbs on Amazon. We just ordered some for another tree that we got a great deal on Amazon for like 150 bulbs for like under $10 kind of thing. So worked out really, and it comes with stars as well. Interesting thing, this actually doesn't have a topper on it. There's no hole for a topper.
There's no hole for putting a star in the top of that.
So that's story time from Good Dog.
Yeah, I can be nice and polite when I need to be.
And then he says to me, I would have said this to them. And then I go, you never would.
You
would say it to you.
I tell Craig a lot of things. I have so many choice 4-letter words running through my mind all the time.
I am shopping with Rick from now on. He doesn't take no. But again, you guys remember, I've kind of learned this in the past. It's like, I have a couple of my sayings. If there's one on the wall.
Whatever do you mean, Adrian?
One on the wall is probably not all. If it's less than a latte, it's got to be body. And now I got a new one as of today. It goes in the cart right from the start. Because we know a couple of weeks ago, I told you about missing that whole thing of Pop Funkos just because I was trying to be nice and not trying to reach over. It's like, no. And we did. I was lucky enough, and I know Carl's going to hate me, when I did that with all of those Walkmans, and I just scooted them all into my cart. But I still missed one $100 Walkman that I could have bought for $7 just because I didn't grab them, and a guy came up while I was looking at them and he took one, and I didn't take it out of his hands. I didn't say those are mine. I just as soon as he took the one, I went, ah. So It's in my cart. You can shart. I don't know if I said that. I don't know if I'm going to use that as one of my constant things. And now she knows to take items in the cart, take it to the register. Well, that's
I don't know if she'd learned anything. She's 78 and probably half senile.
Carl was thinking of the Walkman, yeah. Well, that's just it. It's like, put it in the cart. I do that as well, right? It's like, Andrea, it's like, put it in the cart, look it up, put it back on the shelf. That's part of my new mantra as well. Even if well, that's just it. Rick said, why didn't she ask? She could have asked Rick, can you help me get this down?
If she asked me to help her get it down, I would have gladly helped her.
As opposed to
because she wasn't chasing me down. Because she wasn't chasing me down and wishing bad karma on me.
So Rick actually got mad. I don't think we told this on the show. This is what
happened last week.
We told this to Adrian.
We told Adrian.
So this is another story. We'll save this story for next week, but that's another lovely Rick story, so that we can go at. But let's show you some of the other amazing sales that we've had on our eBay.
Heather, I wasn't talking about you.
Okay. So again, we look at everything, all sorts of different things. When we see a tag hanging on something, we take a look at it, we grab it, we see if it's worth buying. This happened to be by a company, designer called Mary Moko. It's a very popular pattern, which is called the Poppy pattern. And this still had its hang tag on. It was brand spanking new. I got it for, I believe, $3.99. I don't know what that is. Oven mitten. Pini Uko, Luca Nissen oven mitten. But we picked this up for like $3.99 and sold it for $20, which it wasn't worth a lot, but for $3.99, it was a nice little flip. Again, something that's not common for us, looking at something in like oven mitts. They're not sort of thing. Something that we do look at all the time, and we actually looked at today, but we put one down, is whenever you see promotional glassware, especially when you see the kind that is free, that comes from other like companies like Crown Royal and Dewars and all, but some are worth it and some aren't. In this case, this is a set of glasses we bought. I think we may have even shown it on a Thrift or Throw It about 6 months ago. And it is the pair of glasses. So you're actually getting two glasses. The way that we decided to market this was a set of two glasses. I got all of these for, I think it was $1.99 each glass.
No, they were on a baggy wall at.
That's right. They were a baggy wall.
The Value Village on Victoria Park.
That's just paper inside, so you can see this a little bit better.
Actually, it's black paint water.
Oh, is it black paint water? Oh, okay. Hopefully you wash that out. But we actually had a few of these, so I think we ended up getting 6 or 7 or 8 of them, Rick. I can't remember exactly what.
8 or 10, yeah.
And 2 of them didn't have the boxes. All the others did. We sold 1 pair now. We got 2 sold out of stock. We got to relist it. $37.50 for 2 glasses. Again, not hard at all to ship. But I just realized it says out of stock, and we have to. So we've sold 2 of those for almost $80 US. It is, yeah. Marimiko is kind of like vintage Vero. Yeah, you know it when you see it. That poppy pattern is quite popular with people. I just actually saw something in a Facebook group was the same kind of thing. Lisa sold 2 Marimoko mugs for $65 each. Yeah. And she's still selling me IKEA Marimoko collaborative stuff. Honey, why does my bourbon taste like Bob Ross? And it isn't that great of an alcohol, but it's okay. Next up on our thing is, and we did show this, I just wanted to show everybody, we did end up selling it, prompted by Carl in one of our shows. We talked about this, I think it was September. He said he showed us a Mighty Max, and I went, I have one of those. So I went downstairs.
Yes, it's in a blue box. It's in a blue box on the shelf right beside you.
This was the Mighty Max with all the figures with it. And it was in really great shape. And we put it up for auction, and it ended up selling for $122. So again, this is one of the things we like trying stuff at auction. And if we go here, you can see in the bidding, we started the bidding on this at 99. So we were happy if we got 99 for it. So the fact that it ended up going, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 different bidders on it, and it ended up going through a U.S. drop shipper and going to Taiwan. Huh?
A freight forwarder.
Freight forwarder to Taiwan.
Delaware.
So the nice thing about freight forwarding is when you sell something to somebody like that, all it has to do is get from you to Utah or Seattle or wherever that freight forwarder is, and it's delivered. You don't have to worry about when it gets to the person, and 99.99% of the time, you also then don't have to worry about them if they have a problem with it. And I see people all the time who are afraid to ship to places like that because it says that the person is in Taiwan, but the address shows it in Utah. It's like, yes, that is called a freight forwarder. So it's people who order a bunch of stuff to one place, then it all gets boxed up and shipped to them that way. So especially with the collectible world, Pokemon cards, like all sorts of stuff like that, you'll see that they actually have a huge amount of people who do that. We probably sell, I would say, one item a month that goes to a draw, like one of those places, right?
Yep. Small
Tina had a recent order to Florida, and it was a buyer in Korea. So yeah. Elisa has one that's in Newcastle, Delaware. Remember we bought that doll for $20. We sold the doll for, what was it, Rick? 400?
$425, I think.
Yeah, $425 for the Sandy McCall doll. And I took the hang tag off of it because I thought I'm not going to sell the hang tag. Well, I'm not going to give it to them. Well, I did put the hang tag up by itself. And we listed it for $75. We got $50 for just the paper hang tag. Nothing more than a paper hang tag. That's all it is. And that's because somebody who is an amazing collector of this is going to want to have something that is just like this. And it's not even perfect. You can see from the thing, you can see there's a little bit of spotting and aging on the paper. But otherwise, this was really interesting. Like, again, a great thing that a lot of people wouldn't think. Separate those two things and make some more money from them.
Well, we used to sell the Barbie wrist tags.
Yeah.
They're like an inch of foiled paper with a Barbie or Chrissy or whatever logo on it. And we would sell those for $50 and $100. So
now here's something that I talk about a lot, and I think I actually might have done a Kennel Clubber on something like this. This is the McDonald's glasses. Now, McDonald's Canada has things that are exclusive to Canada. So they're doing things that are different. In this particular case, this happened to be the type of thing that I believe I did a Kennel Clubber on this back in August. So only in Canada did they come out with McDonald's glasses, Happy Meal glasses, but they were glass. In the United States, they were plastic. So people in the US were going crazy for these glasses. You had to pay $3 Canadian for them. You had to buy a meal to get them. So you had to spend $15 and $16. So if you were eating a meal, it was okay. You could make some money on it. So this happened to be one of a couple of sets that we sold a number of these different things. And we got $37.50 for the two glasses. We sold two sets of this particular glass, these two glasses, for $40 US a piece. So we still made a good $25 on a couple of glasses. Now, the interesting thing about that is, and this is what I was telling you. So in the past month, it was all about Crocs with the Happy Meal. Now in Canada, it was Crocs that were saying the ones pretty well about everywhere else. Yeah, that's just it. That's what it is. Canada doesn't allow paper, so they had to make them glass. But in last year, there were Halloween bags that the U.S. didn't get that we got in Canada. But Crocs were a big thing. That was a Happy Meal toy, and everybody's going crazy about them. In Canada, only in Quebec, actually, there's just a single yellow shoe that was only available in Quebec. There's actually two that were available in Australia as well. Well, everybody's going nuts for them, of course, right? Well, guess what? You start seeing, as of this week, they're not in the stores anymore. They're in the stores. It's a baggie wall filled with Crocs.
And a Japanese Hello Kitty something or other.
Japanese Hello Kitty. So this is actually something that I saw this and then went, oh, I get bonus Crocs. Because this is $2.99. But this is a Hello Kitty doll that is actually from a McDonald's Japan Hello Kitty. So, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I didn't get the solid yellow one. But I am going to probably put this whole batch of shoes alone for like 20, 25 bucks and get rid of that, hopefully. And I'll probably do that in a McDonald's group. So, yes, some of the McNuggets buddies were the same thing last year. What do you need? If you need the clogs, what are you doing, Rick?
I'm trying to annoy you.
If you need the clogs, Holly, let me know and we'll figure out something. So that was just, again, keep your eyes open for that kind of thing. Again, we always talk about auctions. This was an auction. Somebody said, why would you auction this? Because it's a crazy old clown mask. I thought, oh, you know what? I'm not wearing it. It does look like I'm wearing it there, but it's not me. It's our mannequin. But I love the fact that it still had the hang tag stuck to it. So it had never been worn. Rick did amazing photos of it. And we put that up for auction at the beginning of the month. And it sold in a week. And it went to $81. This mask cost me $2.99. So I always tell you guys.
Didn't you have a 20% coupon too?
Probably. I always tell you guys, look at masks. Look at Halloween masks. Don't pass up Halloween masks. So we did this. We also, in that month, we sold the Gorn. And I told you about that. I paid $6.99 for that. And I sold it for $69. So this was just a couple of masks that cost me under $10. And for the pair of the couple of masks, it ended up making us $150, clearing $150.
I had to photograph it to show the eyes through the eye hole.
Yeah, he made sure he adjusted it so that the eyes came right into the eye hole. He was like, he had to make it creepy enough on this picture here.
Because creepy sells.
Because creepy sells.
It's almost like the old movies with the painting on the wall.
Yeah, a little bit. Next is one of Rick's finds, because, I love how he just decides he wants to go out there and buy sculptures of naked ladies. This is one of his sculptures of a naked lady. And again, that's the kind of thing we just look for all the time now. Something that looks a little strange.
Austin Productions.
Austin Productions.
I could not identify the artwork. Usually they're based on a real sculpture that's easy to find. Could not find the name of the art.
But we had this one up for how long, Rick?
I don't remember. It wasn't very long. Maybe 2 months.
2 or 3 months. Had $149 on it, and we sold it for, I think, $125 plus shipping.
Yep.
So, again, something that's an interesting flip. There's another one of Rick's things. He loves finding stuff like this. Little brass.
Door knocker.
Huh?
It's a door knocker.
A door knocker, a little brass door knocker. Now, he got this in a baggie wall, didn't you?
Yep. It was $1.99 with 4 other pieces in it.
$35. Now, this did take probably a year to sell.
That took a year to sell, yes.
Oh, Diana had the same one growing up. So again, but at $1.99, you kind of don't mind if it's going to sit there for a little bit longer than you thought about, sort of thing. So it's just one of the things that you keep your eyes open for. Last couple of things we're going to show you. I talked about this again, and this is something we bought in May. 3 ventriloquist dolls that I got from the same lady. I paid $25 for the 3 dolls.
Yep,
First
10,
one was
10, and 5.
Huh?
10, 10, and 5. 5 for
First
the
one was a Darcy Lynn puppet from America's Got Talent. And then the other 2, I thought, they're not as much. They're not as good as I thought they'd be. And I probably shouldn't have bought them. But I sold the Darcy Lynn for $35. So I didn't lose any money on it. Then I went and I decided I was going to list the blue furry monkey kind of animal. It retails and you can still buy it on a website for $40. So I only put it at $20 because I thought, who wants a used one when they can get a new one for? And I got my $20, and I thought I'm going to go out big on this one because I looked at the website that still sells these, but it's retired. You can't buy grandma anymore, and so I decided to be a little bit and put grandma up a bit, and I did, and I sold her for the $75 plus $15 shipping. So we made about $100 on that because it was $135 in sales.
Yep.
For that we cleared $100 on for a $30 thing. So we made $70 cleared on that. And finally, another thing, just again, when I always tell you guys to look for plates. And yeah, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that bell. And if you are talking to us afterwards, we try and answer every question that comes in afterwards. And we really appreciate it if you do join us in the Kennel Club for that extra $3 a month. It helps us a lot. And we hopefully believe we're giving you $3 worth of value, at least per show, but more so every month. So again, thank you again to everybody who has joined us for that. We do have one more thing, which again, sometimes we say, I tell you guys, look for plates, look for something different, try and find something. We talk about it on our Thrift or Throw It's all the time. And I think this is going back about 9 months ago, Carl's been a member for 38 months. Hey, yes, Carl. Thank you very much. Some of it was, you thought that was an emergency announcement. No, that's just a please give us a thumbs up. 45 watching and only 10 thumbs. Yeah, I'd love to get us over 50 a few more times. We love it when there's 50. But I said, when I talk about the plates and I showed you those things called Pure Evil, and the thing that grabbed me was a bleeding Jackie Onassis. Well, we sold that for $95, and then we actually sold this bunny for $70. And the same person in the UK bought not only the bunny, that's Pure Evil by Royal Dalton, but they also bought this other one, which is just called
Slenderman
East End Tagger, which I don't know what it is. Now, the terrible thing is we had one of these left. And guess what? We sold it. And we sold it on Thursday. Guess what we could not find this entire freaking weekend?
I tore apart every eBay box in the house. Like, where is this?
That fourth damn plate that we could have sold for $70. So we sold those two for $70, the other one for $95. We paid $7.99 a piece for them, but again, it was well worth $7.99 when you can make $50, $60, $70 on them. But yes, and I canceled the person. Unfortunately, that is a strike against me on eBay and against our sales. But I did tell the person, if we do find it, I will sell it to you for $30 if we find it in the next little while. They haven't gotten back to me, but and they were in Australia too. They were having it sent all the way to Australia. So I was like, I hate when that happens. Yes, I hate it when that happens. The only thing that balances it off, and we'll show you this in our December sales, is we had a couple of sales in November already that came about because we stared at something, moved something out of the way to get to not the conscious, you must sell. It can't be that. We just had to get out of there. I have to get that and put that back, and sold like 3 things over the past week that were all like, what the heck? Or a thought was in my mind. I saw something. I'm walking by and I go, why am I still listing that? Cha-ching. It just drives me crazy. Thank you so much, Holly, for the super sticker. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. It's hard to do those behind the scenes shopping videos. I'll try and do one with me now, if I can drag him out twice a week. We are going down to the States, so maybe I'll get him to do one on Friday when we go down to the States. So, but again, thank you again to everybody who's joining us. And if you are in a Kennel Club, you're going to see a little thing coming up next week, which is your basics on how to find and sell My Little Ponies. This year's Hall of Famer. Is that what a pony? Is that the sound a pony makes? I don't know I don't know horse sounds. Touching stuff doesn't work for me. Oh, that sounds terrible. Touching stuff works for me. No, it's not. It's not.
It has to be incidental.
I can't. If I say any more, I'll have to put in a rude. I'll have to say this is a rude portion. So, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully, you loved hearing the little story from the.
You old lady, get out of my way!
The Christmas tree thief. Yeah, the Christmas tree thief and the 78-year-old poor old woman that he stole it from.
I'm the Grinch.
Keep an eye out in our craft group, and you will see every update we can give you on the Canada Post strike. But keep selling, keep working through all that, and get ready, because the next 4 or 5 weeks, sales are going to be good. I know sales are going to be good. I'm promising you all. Don't know how high, but I'm promising you all sales are going to be good, going to be better. Thanks again. We'll see you next week with our Look What Rick Bought. And the poor old lady.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.